Hey everyone, hope you're doing good. In today's video, we're going to cover some surface area. This, if you want to follow along in your algebra book, is on P31. That's 0 chapter lesson 10. And it's the beginning of your book before even chapter 1. So if you want to flip there, that's what we're going to be covering. Surface area is the sum of the areas of all the surfaces or faces of a solid. Surface area is measured in square units. Alright, so all of our answers are going to have the squared symbol, or that little 2 after our unit. You can see that we'll be working with length, with width, with height, and we're going to be doing prisms and we're going to be doing cylinders. So let's jump right in. The first one that we're going to do today is a prism. You'll see a picture of one here. We're going to be working with the length of the prism, the width, and the height. I already have the formula up for you here. The S stands for the surface area. And you have 2 times the length times the width. That's an L, not an I. Plus 2 times the length times the height. Plus 2 times the width times the height. And it seems like a lot, but that's because we have a lot of faces. We're taking all of the faces of this prism and we're adding them all together. So we have 2 length times width would give us this rectangle here. But we need to times it by 2 because we also have one that's the same size on the top. Then we have 2 length times the height, which would give us these sides closest to us right here, the one closest here, and then the one that would be kind of in the back, this one right here, would give us the 2 and the length times the height. Then we have 2 times width times height, and I guess that would give us the ends, or this square right here, and we got to times it by 2 because we have this end and we have this end. This example here is in your book. It's example 1, letter A, and they give you a height of 5 meters. They give you a width of 1 meter and a length of 3 meters. All we need to do, since we have all of those measurements, is go ahead and plug that into our formula. So let's try to do that. I'm going to move this over here and put it over in the corner. Hopefully we can still see it. And I'm going to bring out my pen and I'm going to see if I can write. And I apologize in advance for my bad handwriting. Kind of hard when you're using an iPad. Alright, so what I'm going to do is going to take my formula and I'm going to plug in the numbers. I have S equals 2 times the length, which is 3, times the width, which is 1, plus 2 times the length, which is 3, times the height this time, which is 5, plus 2 times the width times the height. All I did was I took these measurements over here on our problem and plug them in to our formula. Now, since I have all numbers, all I need to do is do the computations. Well, 2 times 3 times 1 is 6, plus 2 times 3 times 5 is 30, plus 2 times 1 times 5 is 10. When I add those all together, I get 30 plus 10 is 40, plus the 6. I end up with 46 meters squared. And that's the answer for this example. The next shape that we're going to do is a cylinder. And with a cylinder, I'm going to move this out of the way. We're going to be using the radius and we'll be using the height of the cylinder. But I need to write the formula, because there is no pi symbol. So that's what I'm going to be attempting to do here. So to find the surface area of our cylinder, we will have S equals 2, here's the pi, R times the height, plus 2 pi R squared. Right? This part right here is what gives us the round part of our cylinder, and this part right here gives us the two ends. Okay? Here's an example that is in your book, and before we move on, if you haven't done so already, I would write these formulas down in your notebook, wherever you're keeping the rest of your formulas. That way you have them all in one spot. But here's the other example that's in your book. It's example B. It's still a cylinder. The only difference is that the cylinder in the book is flipped on its side, and this one is standing up on its end. But the measurements are still the same. In this one, we have a radius of 3 centimeters, and we have a height of 8 centimeters. And we are asked then to find the surface area. So, in order to find the surface area, once again, we're going to need our formula, because that's how we find our surface area. Our formula, if you have it written down, or if you're looking at your book, once again, I'll write it the best that I can, is S equals 2 pi R, which stands for radius, times the height, plus 2 pi R squared. Now all I need to do is take the measurements and plug them into my equation. So when I do that, I get S equals 2 times pi times the radius of 3 times the height of 8 plus 2 times pi times the radius of 3 squared. When I plug that into my calculator, because that's the easiest way to do it when you're working with pi, when you plug that into your calculator, you should get 207.3 centimeters squared. Don't forget to put the squared on there. Here's an example that I'd like you to try on your own. You are given a length of 24 meters, you're given a width of 2 meters, and then you are given a height of 5 meters. The formula that you need to use, I've put it up here in the corner, so use that and just plug your numbers in. Pause the video and see if you can figure out the correct answer. If you got the correct answer, you should have got 356 centimeters squared. If you didn't, look back at it, see what you messed up. Maybe you did a miscalculation somewhere, put in the wrong number, used the wrong formula. But go back and check yourself. Make sure you got it right, because there's no sense in learning something wrong. Example to do on your own. This one is a cylinder. I have tried to write the equation at the bottom there that you're going to use. Try to figure this one out by yourself. Pause the video to give yourself some time to do that. If you got this one right, you should have had 596.9 feet squared. Right? And that's surface area. Well, we've reached the end of the video. Hopefully you understand surface area a little bit better. If you're still struggling, don't give up. Be patient. Try a few more problems on your own. Practice makes perfect. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video.